This is ShibuyaTyson.com. Today's guest, Tr3asy from the Shy.
What's happening? What's good?
What's going on?
What's happening, bro? Shit, man, just chilling.
So we're in the studio right now. What studio we in right now?
We're in 416 Revenue Sound. That's the studio. You know what I'm saying? We got the Hydrox in here, which is me, my homie Jax. Got my homeboy TK and my homeboy Major. So yeah, Revenue Sound.
Cool. First, let me ask, what's Tr3asy name come from, right?
So Tr3asy, because I know there's a lot of Easies, like Weezy, Yeezy, all that shit. Tr3asy comes from my original name, which was like Trey, so it's like the Roman numeral 3. And so the reason why I did like Tr3asy was because of the idea of saying like the rap so easy. So the rap so easy, Tr3, so that's the rap, and then easy, so the 3 just is backwards for the Roman numeral 3. And then from the Shy, it just makes it, just makes it a little extra.
So, you picked the 3 right after the R. Why you put the 3 right? What does that mean 3 right?
The 3 is low key because of I'm James III technically, so that's my real name. So I'm the 3rd. So then I just put the 3 in there just to remind people. You know what I'm saying? I'm the 3rd installment. So.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
What part of Chicago you grew up at?
I've always been from the South Side. South Side is where I reside. So yeah, I've lived in like the Woodline area, Marquette Park, things like that. So I've come around. So yeah.
How's when you was growing up like?
For me, it was like it was decent. I can't say I came from like too much of a struggle. It was just like, I know like when I was coming up, I had a lot of influences with family and things like that. My cousin used to DJ around the city. Yeah, so he used to do like a lot of hip hop open mics in the 90s. So he was like one of the first to like really bring hip hop, bring a hip hop scene to Chicago. So yeah.
When you really start getting into the music?
When I was 15.
15?
Yeah, when I was 15, I had like a little after school program, and it was me and my homie. We basically did the program. He was already rapping. I didn't know what I wanted to do at 15. I was just like, I don't know. But they gave us laptops, so they had GarageBand on that shit, and so they were like, yeah, just make some beats and see where you get. I started making like little weak ass beats, but one of my teachers was basically like, yo, this is actually kind of like hot. You should like keep up with this shit. And so I was like, all right, bet. So I just kept doing it. My homie rapped over all my weak ass shit when I was little, and so he just kept me going to the point where I'm here now. So yeah.
I know you started to make beats at the school, and right now Chance the Rapper really are doing for the school, and kind of I think same thing like you start, like what you think like
we had the
Chance the Rapper really.
What's funny is
to the community from Chicago.
I feel you. What's funny is that we both came from the same program.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Open Mic is basically named after.
Right, Open Mic.
Yeah, exactly. So Mike Hawkins is actually like both of our mentors. That was actually who was the one who inspired me to make beats. Was also the same mentor he had. So Brother Mike, shout out to Brother Mike, even though he's passed. So he was like basically like we both came from the same upbringing, same program. It was a Digital Youth Network program, and so like he got his start from like going to these like open mics that we had called Lyricist Law, and so he used to just do that a lot. And then basically the same thing, like that's how I met him. I met like Vic Mensa through all these programs, and so like I was watching these guys like come up the same way, and then they just had that. Basically, the after school program I was part of gave us the platform to make bigger and better things. So yeah.
You produce G-Hop, Z-Money, Key Glock, B.O.N, Appetite. How you end up produce the song?
So Z hit me up actually. He told me to come to a studio session. And so I didn't even know Key Glock and G Herbo was there low key. I just walked in. and the first person I saw was G Herbo, and I was like, oh, I thought I was in the wrong studio, low key. I was like, oh man, this is probably not even my session. So and then I saw Z in the corner, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, so I was supposed to be here. And then low key, we were just like going back and forth, playing little beats. That was like the third beat I had played, and so the first two beats they were like, oh, okay, this is decent. And then it was actually that Bon Appetit beat was actually, I showed Z that 2 weeks before they decided to hop on the song, and so he just listened to it again. G Herbo was like the first person to react, and he was like, "Ooh, this shit's hard, blah, blah." And I was like, yeah, let's do this one. So Key Glock just wrote to that hook, because it was first Z was supposed to just do his verse first. Key Glock was like, "No, let me start it off. Let me get y'all started." So then he came in there, young nigga, eat, Bon Appetit, and everybody was like, yeah, let's just go off of that. And so that's why, like, when you hear Key Glock's line finish at the end, you hear Z Money just start off with the same line. So yeah, it was magic. I was like, I really liked that night. It was real fun.
Yeah, that song is really kind of big, and like shot the video, and right now like it's like almost like 2 million views or something.
Yeah,
like
it's actually at 2.6 million right now. Oh yeah, so it's
you wasn't know the song would be that big, like quick, right?
No, not that quick, because it hit 1 million in a week, and I was like, I didn't realize it was gonna like take so much pace, because I was like, but a lot of people were like already like hyping it up. They were like, we never heard like Key Glock and G Herbo on a song, and so it was like, so I guess like to me, I was like, I'm just happy that all these guys are on the song, but like people were like, they were like, oh no, like this is epic, because these two have never like made a song together. So it was like, so I was happy in like both ways, really. So it was real fun.
Explain your sound and your style.
Say it one more time.
Your style of music you create.
My style it's all over the place, to be honest with you. It's like
I was listening to your music, and you do a lot of sample too, Loki.
I do sample, sometimes, and I'll say when I do make beats, it's really based off how I'm feeling at that current moment. Because like when I started making beats, it was more like boom bap. So I used to have like a lot of Kanye, J Dilla type joints. And then as I started like more towards college, it's like one of my homies, he used to make trap beats a lot, and I was like, I could do that. And so I just started making like trap beats, and it was like it. And I'm more melodic too, so like you'll hear a lot of melodies within my trap beats. So it's not just like a simple just boom boom boom. You'll hear like something that I like, storytelling type beats, to where you can always picture something, and so it gives the artist a platform to say more than just like simple things. So yeah.
Right now I see the FL studio, but how you make your beats?
FL. I use FL a lot. I'm really trying to like branch off of that just a little bit.
What are you trying to go from FL studio?
I'm trying to use Reason. My homie has Reason. Yeah. And so like just because I heard some of the sample like in the packages they have with things, so I like the sounds. If they have that on FL, I'll probably just still use FL. But like they have some good sounds on there, so I was like, I definitely want to see. I just want to use different things just so I can be experienced with everything basically. So if somebody be like, let's collab, and then I'm like, I don't use that. I don't know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to low key use like a little bit of everything. So yeah.
I want to give advice to the beginners who trying to get into the game right now. Like, what kind of advice are you trying to give to the people?
Be open to work with anybody, and then just stay consistent is what I'll say. I was like, the whole thing of why I'm doing what I'm doing now is because I've never gave up. And even when the times where I wanted to give up, I was always thinking to myself, well, I've gotten too far already. So it's like I don't want to just waste all this. Like, I've been doing this for years, so like for me to stop now would just be crazy. So I was just like, all right, just stay consistent, tell people, let people know that you're a real producer. Because I was like, people just think like producers just beat makers, they don't really do shit. No, I was like, I'm a real producer. I don't just make beats. I create songs. I do a lot of things outside of just the beat making. So, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta let people know like this is a real thing. This is, just make sure that you know that you're legit. So
okay, how you trying to make the difference from all these other producers? I'm different. How you trying to prove yourself? Right?
Just being there. I say the best thing about working with me is just, I say like my rapport with people. I'm just a generally decent dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when people get in the studio with me, they know like they're not gonna have a hard time. I'm pretty open to ideas. I like to help however I can. I stay in my zone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not in the way. I'm really just trying to help. So I know with certain producers, I've watched them in the studio. We have like different styles. So I'll say like for me, yeah, it's just like people just want to generally be around. Just because, or they want me to be around because I'm not in the way. I'm just there. I'm either contributing or I just keep to myself, play my beats, and they still gonna fuck with me regardless. So yeah.
Okay. What is the tip for the producer? You got some trick for the producing?
No tricks. I'm really trying to find my tricks now. Really, I'm starting to get into a groove of certain sounds that I use now. So I'll say like yeah, just like how I make my hi-hats, I'm starting to get a little bit better with, and so it just makes the beat seem more interesting. And then just the 808 patterns and things like that. I really want to learn how to like really master those 808s and just like really get into like how to make better melodies, because I don't want to keep the same like boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like that's simple, but I want to do something more epic with that shit.
Okay. I think I went to the SoundCloud and you was rapping too. You do?
I used to rap. Well, I still rap, but yeah, I still kind of rap. But I've taken a break on that because I really do want to focus on the producing. So once I'm basically like Kanye this shit. So once I get into the game, yeah, exactly. Once I get into the game on producing side, and then that's more established. Cool, I'm gonna just jump in and just throw some shit. I'm gonna be making some songs along the way, but for right now, I'm just gonna focus more on the producing.
What else you do other than produce and rap?
I also do a little bit of photography sometimes, and like for real, right now I'm learning how to engineer. So if y'all need some studio time, let me know.
Who your top favorite producer?
Number one, Timbaland. Timbaland. I low key just read his book like a few months ago. Very inspired by him. I was like, he was one of the first producers that I was like, all right, like he has like the hits, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I heard a lot of stuff growing up, it was Timbaland produced. Of course, Kanye is a huge influence in the way I produce, and he's from the city, so you know, always a good influence to see. J Dilla, and I'm gonna say Ali Shaheed Muhammad from A Tribe Called Quest. So yeah, they all like really, because A Tribe Called Quest is my favorite group. So that's
what your favorite? I don't think that people shows. I mean, this generation would say like.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you pick favorite?
A Tribe Called Quest is like when I was first like really like getting into like music and things like that. That was like the first group that like really stood out to me. And so like I downloaded every album they had. Like I was watching all the interviews. I was watching like just everything they had. Like it was just like, oh man, like this group was the shit. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately I was alive, but I wasn't aware to be like a fan at the time when they were relevant. You know what I'm saying? But like, even though like I caught them late, I was a big fan from then on. So Q-Tip, Phife Dawg, like Phife Dawg was my favorite MC when I was coming up, and just like listening to his like rhyme schemes and things like that, they just had me hooked. I was just like, and then the production was like Ali Shaheed Muhammad, J Dilla, you know what I'm saying? They used to fuck with Busta Rhymes, you know what I'm saying? So they were around, you know, and they were just like, just cold. They were just so cold to me. So them, and I also say 3-6 Mafia too. They were my shit. So.
What's the Hydrox? What's the group?
So the Hydrox is a collective. So me, Mike Jax, XODB or X on the Beat, Sabier Music, my homie Lex. We all are basically like producers, engineers, DJs.
Everybody from Chicago?
Lex is from Carolina, and then the rest of us are from Chicago. It's just a few of us are like in Atlanta and things like that. But like we are, you know, we're a collective. in the same sense as like 808 Mafia or things like that. We just have a good producer collective that we all come together. We make music. We use our networks. If I have a certain artist that I want other people in my group to work with, we do like things like that. So I've been a part of it for about 4 years now. So the Hydrox has been like going on in, and my homie Mike Jacks, he's the one who started the Hydrox. He started that I want to say like 2009, and so I know like his first placement under the Hydrox was like with like Yellow Wolf and Lil Jon. They had like a song like back in like 2011, and then we just been going from there. We got like little placements here and there, got like a 2 Chainz placement, things like that. So it's been going well so far, and then now we're just trying to elevate that, and whoever's in the group, we just hope we all get on, because if one of us get on, we all on type shit.
I saw a picture with Diro, Beautiful, and Z-Money. Like, I was thinking, why you around so many artists from West Side or something? Like, you choose to go that way, or it just happened? Like,
yeah, it just happens like that. I was like, it is a lot of West Side artists I noticed, and then like I don't know, it's just a lot of them really reach out. Z reached out a lot, and so I was always like, okay, because my homie Don Rob, he put me in place with working with Z a lot more, because then they work at the stew. So what I'm saying, we were like, oh yeah, he was like, yeah, just come through, start playing beats. So he would always plug me with artists that come through and things like that. And then my homie Ted also, he does photography and things like that. He like with D-Lo, like that's how we met. We were at Fort Knox, and then basically like I just played him some of my joints. He was like, yeah, we gotta work. That was like some months ago, and then we finally got in the studio just recently, what I'm saying? Like, but we got some dope joints. And then working with 4 as well from Black Ink, like he's also like really dope. So
yeah, how you link up with him?
Ted is like, that's his photographer as well, and so basically like he was like, yeah, I can get you in the studio before, and I was like, oh, bet. And he was like, so then we linked up at Fort Knox, and I met 4, real cool guy. And so he never even met me, but he was like, yeah, you can chill in the session, whatever. I played some beats, and he was like, yeah, I'm rocking with these. And so from then on, like I would hit up 4 and be like, yo, when you in the studio, and he'd be like, oh, I'm about to be here later on tonight, you can come through. And so we just been having that type of relationship. And so now recently I was just in there with him 2 weeks ago, and so we got like a really dope joint that's gonna start coming out. So it's called Wraith. So you heard it here first, because that joint's gonna be hot as hell.
Okay. Do you into politics?
Am I into politics?
Do you watch news or?
I'm impartial of that shit. I mean, like, I do want to know what's going on within the world, but I'm not like involved enough to like tell you by detail what's going on. Why? What's up?
I be most every interview I want to talk about how people feel about Trump, Donald Trump right now. What do you think about Trump?
I think he is so difficult to talk about. Trump is a president, and he is the typical president that I feel was going to be in office regardless. So I feel like America's a business, and they got a businessman to be a president. So either we're gonna come out of this with better business, or just be in a shithole. So because like I always tell people, I was like, Donald Trump he's a reflection of what we wanted anyway. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, this is what America is. If you wanted to see what America is, look at our president, because he's the face of America. So that is what I would tell people. He's the face. He's the reflection of what a lot of Americans are.
So you support him or?
No, definitely not. I'm anti-Trump. I was like very much anti-Trump. Even him as like a media mogul before presidency, I wasn't like really. I never watched The Apprentice. I can care less about Trump, to be totally honest. He was just another rich white man to me. So. Yeah.
You named Kanye West one of your favorite producers. Now Kanye said that he supports Trump, and even one interview or something, Kanye said on the Twitter. Obama was president for 8 years or something, but Chicago, I mean, he didn't change or he didn't do much.
I feel
supposed to do something, but I know Obama did as much he could or something. But what you think, like even Kanye started coming out little bit.
He's
something, you know.
Kanye can't speak for everybody. I was like, he can only state his own personal opinion. I don't agree with everything Kanye does. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with his marriage, not, to be honest, but that's him. That's who he chooses to be with. That's what he chooses to believe. And so I was like, I try not to let that diminish my view on somebody who has influenced me. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, everybody has their own personal opinion. If that's how you feel, works for you. Because I was like, I feel like Obama has done a lot. And then to be the first black president already is a lot of pressure. And then to know that the president in itself does not have a lot of power. So, what I'm saying? Like, people make the president seem like he's not a dictator. He's literally just the face of America. So it's like, if he was a dictator, maybe he could have done something better. But I was like, you still have a legislation that has to make those type of decisions. So I was like, you can't just blame him. There's a whole big ass group of people.
What do you think about Chicago violence?
Okay. For me, one, they just need to stop in general. But Chicago violence, I don't know, man. It's a lot of, there's no organization. I don't like violence in general, but I will say, like,
you said Chicago don't have organization, but Chicago didn't start that organized gang and stuff. I think Chicago supposed to be known for organization. But
they
now look like
it's wild.
Organized and like this was the way it's supposed to go. Like, you feel me? Everybody saying the settlement. Nobody not trust nobody. Like Chicago supposed to be, that's all this gang shit come from. Like,
I was like, because how gangs started wasn't even supposed to be violent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was supposed to be to protect the communities and neighborhoods within the city, because sometimes we know that Chicago can be a corrupt place just with our government within Chicago. So it's like police force, the people who make the laws within Illinois, can be corrupt. We all know that. And so the gangs were basically there to like really just help out the communities and things like that. But then, when drugs started getting involved, the whole idea of just being a kingpin and things like that, people started to kind of lose the way. And then once those people started getting locked up, we got like our generation, we don't really have like any type of organization. We don't have like big homies that could like really, give you the type of rules that you need to know for the streets. Because now it feels like kind of like a Wild Wild West, because like it's just every man for himself. Even if you're in a gang,
everybody talk about same clique or same group. But nobody even not. I mean, I know some people loyal, but
it's not that much loyalty. It's not much loyalty, and then it's like it's not even like the same gangs anymore. Like most of the gangs are like by streets now, so it's like most motherfuckers, you can be in the same faction, but then not like the block that your same faction is on. So it's like that doesn't even make sense. Like if you're a GD but you don't fuck with GDs on 43rd, and it don't make sense. I was like, if y'all in the same thing, why are you beefing with niggas in the same stuff? So it doesn't. That in itself doesn't make sense to me. So that's like sometimes where the violence comes in, because then it's like if you don't mess with people, like it just confuses me sometimes, because I'll be talking to some people who don't mess with niggas in their own gang, and I'm like, where's the loyalty at? Where's the, where's that type of organization? Like that's like, if these people are supposed to be your fam, your, whatever, like people you would die for, then y'all need to get it together. Because it's like, I'm not gonna have that same type of mentality with my brothers and with my sister, So it's like, I was like, I find a way to get over it. So it was like, either get over it or just get out the gang, dog. So I don't know, man. We just need to get it together and try not to. Motherfuckers got anger issues too. I was like, in Chicago, I was like, I don't know where they call it the city of hate. You know what I'm saying too. So it's like the city, motherfuckers do hate here, and that's unfortunate, because then when you see people shine, people like to take you out your glow real quick. So it's like, and that's that's why people always say like, man, when I get on, I gotta get out the city, because like when they find out like you doing big and shit like that, they want to take you out the game, and it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? You should embrace people.
Right now we talk about royalty, and what you think about TM88 was saying that he didn't get paid from the Tr3asy bar song on that one big song.
Yeah.
Sold a few million records, but still didn't get paid or something. Then you know this problem everybody been talking about years, like Cash Money didn't pay a lot of producer, and people soon a little Remo, and you know why people not really get the right credit, or even you think like you get the right credit?
No, I don't feel like I get the right credit at all. People don't put respect on the producer's name for some reason, like, and I don't see why, because I was like, if you think about it, producers really do make the artists, and so people don't necessarily like. Yeah, for some reason they feel like the producer is like the lesser part of the song. When it's like, if you really like listen to music without beats, half the songs you wouldn't even listen to. So it's like, you got to remember, like, the producer is the song, you know. And so like, even when hip hop was coming up, you needed that DJ or producer to even. It used to be about the DJ and producer before the rapper. It used to be about the motherfucker who was making the person sound good. Now it's like it's switched up to like, now it's all about the rapper, but it's like, no, dog, like it goes hand in hand basically. And so like, even with some of the artists I work with, they, you know, they seem to forget who made the beat.
Yeah, and then sometimes like on the new song come on or something, like, you know, sometimes produced by side, you know, people give credit, but sometimes it's not. Not trying to pick it up the small problem, but I'm saying, hold on, like, people want to produce that to shine, or even director too, like even engineer, like sometimes like artists not really paying the respect or even trying to help the people. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Why you come this way? Like,
I don't know, because that's, to me, like, you would think like, all right, so you come into this producer, you believe in the sound that they gave you, and so it's like you should at least have some type of like. I think that's why I fuck with some of the artists that I work with, is because they do respect the producer and they put me in a position to also shine with them. So it's also like a thing. Like even with Z, I was like, I like what I like about Z was like, I never even had to bring up money. He was already like on it. Like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure that you get the paperwork, you know, we're gonna do this, that, and the other. I'm gonna make sure that you get what you are supposed to get. And so that was like, all right, see, now we have a respect factor. You understand, like, a producer is just as, you know, you're big as an artist, a producer should be just as big, basically. And so it's like those type of people, those type of artists are the type of artists that you really want to work with, because it's like, then you got other artists where they'll be like, all right, I want the beat, and they'll give you some story about how they really got this song and they want this beat, but then when the song comes out, they don't mention your name, they don't tag you or nothing, they don't even talk about money with you, and like, you be trying to be nice about it.
What the fuck?
You feel me? Like, I be like, come on, bro. Like, and then you know, most producers, we be trying to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, we like, all right, I'll just throw you the beat. I believe in your sound. You know, whatever. And then some artists just take advantage of that, and you be like, people taking my kindness for a weakness. So you know what I'm saying? Like, and so as producers, and then that's why we always seem like we're angry producers, because people always, you know, when we see like statuses and be like, you know, producers making jokes about artists, because it's true. Like, artists really do sometimes try to finesse producers, and it's like, why try to finesse? Like, you could spend the same money that you spent on the weed that you probably brought to the session, or the shit you just bought before you came to the session. Could have spent that same amount of money on the beat that you about to rap on for free. So you know what I'm saying? Like, at least I always tell people, spend with me first, and I was like, I'll probably give you free shit afterwards, just because you invested in your future. You invested in something that was gonna make you more money than what you spent. So bullshit like that.
What you think about Chicago music and Atlanta music, or like, I know that everybody say that Atlanta work together. Oh, you know, everybody help each other.
Yeah.
Chicago get a lot of big attention for the music right now, and Atlanta, of course. And what's the difference from the like You feel me? I know that Atlanta making a lot of money through the music, and everybody get paid crazy money. Like, look like I don't know the whole story, but look like Chicago, everybody get attention and stuff, but only the artists and few people make money, but a lot of people behind the scene or not really. Money is not really involved and money is not really moving. You feel me? Why? What's the difference from Atlanta and Chicago? We get almost same million praise or million views on the YouTube. We get almost same thing.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I think, I don't know, Chicago has the money. I was like, the money's here. It's just, it's not being invested well. Because I feel like Atlanta isn't, like you said, like Atlanta and Chicago are like this. You know what I'm saying? Like we're damn near the same. It's just, the way we talk is different. But I was like, other than that, I was like, the same, like the same influence Atlanta has to the world is the same that Chicago has. Right, and so it's like, it's like, why is there's not a lot of, I'll say it's not a lot of it's not a lot of places that cater to music here in terms of like labels. Like, they're not really investing the type of money, or they're not investing the type of resources they give to Atlanta sometimes. And I feel like there's also a lot of self-made Atlanta labels out, and you know what I'm saying, like in Atlanta there's a lot of self-made things there. I feel like there's a lot of self-made things here, but it's not a lot of exposure for some reason. Because I was like, I do know some self-made like labels, I do know some self-made like just studios in general. They really give out opportunities, but it's just like, I don't know why the world isn't seeing those type of places. And I think right now Chicago is doing really great. I feel like just with all the people that's been signed just this year, you know what I'm saying, Z Money, Valet, Juice WRLD, you know what I'm saying, like these people are really like giving Chicago a great name. So I feel like in time, I feel like Chicago is going to get that same type of exposure Atlanta is. It's just that I think we got to get over, I think a lot of things also is because of that drill scenes. Like, people got to get over the whole idea like Chicago's like super duper violent, and motherfuckers don't want to come here because of that. But it's like, look, you know what I'm saying, like everywhere is violent. I was like, to be totally honest with you can go to Atlanta and get killed by probably the same nigga that was just in Chicago. So you know what I'm saying, like it's just, so people have to get over that stigmatism in the first place, because I feel like that's what also makes people not want to come here, because they feel like, if I come to Chicago, motherfuckers might try to kill me. No, I've been living here my whole life. I ain't went nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not afraid. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware, but I'm not afraid. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit.
Recently, XXXTentacion, he got robbed and shot and killed. Unfortunately, rest in peace. What you think about the situation? And even he got shot and killed back in his hometown, like.
Exactly. It's the, I don't know. It's just the whole idea of like, people don't necessarily expect you to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they don't see you as somebody big until you are somebody big. And so it's like, I feel like the idea of jealousy and hate. So it's like, you have people that probably just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to see you succeed. And I was like, and unfortunately, like for his situation, rest in peace X, is like, people don't want to see you shine. I was like, because he wasn't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? People just wanted to rob him because they knew he had money. They knew he had a little change on him. Unfortunately, because that's how I think of it. Is like, I'm probably not going to put up a fight. If somebody tries to take some shit that I got, I was like, if I got it the first time, that's how I think of shit. It's like, if I got it the first time, I can get it again. So I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm not one to really hold on to the materialistics. But for that, I'll say, that's unfortunate, and I feel like just because of the person he was, you know what I'm saying, like they really took advantage of that. And he doesn't seem like the gun-toting type, so you know what I'm saying, like you just took advantage of a dude who just really was just out there, you know what I'm saying, who was just like living his life, and motherfuckers just wanted the materials, and it's like, you just killed a man over material for what?
In the music business, you coming up and you feel like you been target, like
not necessarily a target, because I mean, like, how I perceive myself is not like a person that, you know what I'm saying, like if people don't like me, they just don't like me, of course, but it's like I don't put any energy out there that makes people want to, I guess, try me, because I was like, I'm a big dude, but it's like I don't have that, like, you know what I'm saying, like if a nigga mess with me type shit. No, I was like, I'm a big friendly giant, I guess, you know what I'm saying, like I'm a friendly motherfucker, so when you meet me, you're not gonna want to be on that with me, because I was like 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna embrace you like you my brother or something. So you know what I'm saying, people, if you come at me like that, it's you mad, basically. You just literally just angry at the world. You gotta be, because I was like, the type of energy I like to bring to, you know, to people is always positive. So I was like, I don't like bringing negative energy around, so I always try to come with as much positivity so the people around me could be positive as well. Yeah.
What's your goal for next 3 years for the music stuff?
My goal is to be on the billboards, try to get a Grammy, try to get another Grammy, try to get one more Grammy if I can, and then yeah, man, just be on the billboards, man. I'm just trying to get some #1 hits around the world. I'm just trying to get my music heard all around the world. That's all I want. Is just to be someone that people hear. I don't necessarily mind being in the background, as long as I get the paycheck like I'm in the front. That's cool with me, because then, you know, I can provide for my family, my girl, all that shit. So that's basically like what I would like. So in the next 3 years, I just want to have a better living space. I want to just feel like I want to be financially free is what I want to be. I was like, I just don't want to have to think about finances like that. So just to be in a better place like that. So
who you want to work with, like, in the future?
Somebody asked me that on Instagram the other day. Drake, Big Crit, and Gucci Mane. I'm a lot closer to Gucci Mane because of Z, but it's coming. I know it. I feel it.
Right now, what you working on recently?
Right now, I'm working with Z. I've been working with him a lot, low key. Every time he's in Chicago now, anytime he touches down, he always hits me up. So we're always like in the studio. It'd be late as hell at night. I'm tired as hell, but we got to do what we got to do because we got to make these hits. So yeah, Z. Started to work with D-Lo. I'm working with 4. Really trying to get more work in with Valet. We got a joint together with him and Z.
Oh, you got something with Valet?
Yeah, I got something with Valet. So I'm excited about that because I really fuck with Valet too. So he's like, or Valet. I know he has a specific saying of his name, but yeah, I really fuck with him. Like, you know what I'm saying. My homie put me on to him like a couple of years ago, and he was like, yeah, he's gonna be some big shit. And so literally look at him. You know what I'm saying. And so I know we met about like 8 or 9 months ago. At Fort Knox, he used to be up there a lot too with him, Chase Davis, all those guys, and so they used to be up there like, you know, just trapping it out, making the songs that are out now back then. So you know, just watching him do his shit and, you know, seeing him in the studio was like very like, it was inspiring because I was like, the type of person he is, he's a very down to earth person too. So I was like, that's why I was like, I definitely can't wait to work more with him, just because I know, like, I've seen his work ethic, just like Z. I was like, Z has great work ethic. Like, I was like, I can't say shit bad about Z on like his work ethic. He would be in the studio more than he would be at a club ever. I was like, he probably at the studio right now as we talking. So that's my guy, man.
Okay. Before we close, you got some shout out to somebody you wanna?
Shout out to my team. Shout out to Revenue Sound. Shout out to my homie TK. Shout out to all of my producer homies, really. And then, you know what I'm saying, because I was like, I want all of us to win, mostly from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is something that I really want to change, the idea that producers can't work with each other. I feel like all producers should at least try to work with other producers, mostly around from where they're from. Because I was like, we all have great networks, so why not put them shits together? So yeah, shout out to all y'all all doing great. And then, you know, shout out to my mama. So, you know what I'm saying, because she's the reason why I'm even doing what I'm doing now. So yeah. Alright, I'm sitting here with DJ Kenn. Man, I wish I had a little sip of hand. That's how it is. I want y'all to win. And we came straight from the city of win. This ain't pretend. I'm straight here and live. Came through, no talk bullshit, no jive. I was like, okay, I came through alive. That's why we can't even. But I strive to get the best, and I know I'm just like the rest, but yeah, I'm the best. I like to stack all my chips. Came through with dip. Now we can whip to the stool. That's how we do. Yeah, that's how we get the clues. Yeah, so we find what shit we do. Yeah, that's how we get we lose. Nah. But yeah, little freestyle. I'm not like the best. Check with me in a year now, then we'll be on point. So little freestyle from Tr3asy. One day I'm gonna have like a whole XXL, you dig. Hopefully they do a XXL producers edition. That'd be dope. And I'll still freestyle for that shit too.